Okay, let's see. I'm gonna kind of back to the basics on this thing again. Um, Fuel pump driver module was failing on us at 5,700 RPM on the Mustang, on the dyno. So we're running back and forth. It kept leaning out on the right bank. We thought it was a bad O2 sensor. And we're watching the fuel pressure gauge. Once it hit about 57, it just zeroed. So we figured out that the fuel pump driver module was going into thermal shutdown because the 340 pump was exceeding 13 amps, and I believe that's kind of where it's at when it shuts down. Had an array of things that went wrong. I didn't set the boost pressure properly on, or the fuel. Let me rephrase that. The fuel pressure should have been set right here. So here's a boost. This, you can see it right here. On the regulator, you have a boost reference line, and this goes to positive pressure, like on the intake manifold. And usually just unhook it, start the car, and you set it like the Coyote ones. Man, they're like 55 psi is kind of ideal for a Coyote. And then you hook this back up. So you just kind of, hold your hand on it or whatever and over the hose so that way it doesn't create a big vacuum leak and die. But then you hook it back up, and what happens, it drops about 10 psi. And I didn't do that. I set it at 55 with that hooked up, so I screwed that up. So that was off about 10 pounds. So it was running a little bit too much fuel pressure, and so it was demanding, with that higher fuel pressure, the pump's going to decrease volume. So, and I believe therefore the amps went up on it and caused a thermal shutdown on the fuel pump driver module. And but the tuner, he assumed by seeing the returnless style setup that is in the car that was already removed, but it wasn't. So, growing pains, learning things, and getting through it. But those guys at Black Market Racing are phenomenal, man. Jeremy, Rhett to the tuner, man, they're awesome dudes. So we got it on the right track with that, with the fuel system. But we're going to go to the Cobra tank with the twin hat. So Samuel ordered twin 340s. Just like, usual, everything's, we're waiting on parts, always waiting on parts. So also the brakes were dragging real bad. Those calipers are some cheap ass calipers I bought, and them things they were hanging up. Tried to bleed them out. And they were just hanging up there. The rims were, they were smoking hot off the dyno, and about never got the car on the trailer. So that was dragging like crazy, the brakes. So we got it back here, got rid of those, ordered some new calipers, waiting on those. And we also replaced a whole e-brake system in it from the handle back, both cables, everything. Let's see. I don't know. That's done some other work too with the shocks and stuff, adjusting things out. But as far as numbers, on 91, we never got to the ethanol. We never did get to that. So 91 only, and at 57. Now this motor will spin. It makes power to 7,000. It will spin to 75. It doesn't make any more power between 7 and 7,500, but it does maintain the same power curve. It doesn't drop. Then it starts to fall slightly off after 7,500. So, but we didn't get to spin it that high, unfortunately, because it was leaning out because of the fuel pump driver module was going into thermal shutdown from the amp exceedance. And But at 5,700 RPM, it's still with the dragging brake. Both brakes were dragging. Both calipers were seized up. It still put down 560 tire or wheel horsepower, and like 530. I don't remember the number. 530 something pound-feet of torque. I don't know. I would say that the brakes probably robbed it of about 20 to 30 wheel horsepower. I don't know. So that's kind of where that's at. So I think it would have done a solid 575, 580 at the wheel, letting out way early. So it should do over 600, solid 600 once everything's together good. Possibly more. I'm hoping it's going to do like 630. So that way we'll gain naturally, from the naturally aspirated tune to 430, we can gain the 200 horsepower off from the 91 junk. And then we're going to go 85 on it, ethanol. And I'm hoping to pick up 70, 70 plus on that one there if it does. We're shooting for 700 on ethanol, but kind of depends on what it's going to do off 91. But I think it's going to do pretty good. Not too bad. I think it's putting down at that RPM, I think it was around 8 pounds of boost. So it wasn't real crazy. We're getting there. I'll keep the updates coming on it. The next time around, I'll be more confident, do some videos on the dyno. We were just really spending more time trying to figure out why this thing was leaning out than worrying about video recording on the dyno. So then we determined that it was a fuel pump driver module going into thermal shutdown. So, all right, man, cool. We'll keep on keeping on, I guess. I don't know. Let's keep on chomping at it. Cool.